Okay, something simple. Something simple. And if you hear cars outside my room, my window's open, so. I figured I'd do this. Well, I wanted to do this Monday. Didn't feel like doing it Monday, so. Figured I'd do it now instead. Yeah, no Xfinity race for me. I'll send you. I know Breakfast is doing the Xfinity race, so anybody that watches this, I will send you guys to there once I'm done with this. So, alright. Me trying to decide who's going to win this year's championship, and this is. I always say simple in the title, but there ain't no way this is going to be simple to predict. At least not that easy to predict. So. I'm going to try my best at this. I've never been good at doing this. I mean, I picked Keselowski the one year to win it for the 6 car. I was like, it was really a risk, dude. Why'd you pick Keselowski? So, I'm going to try to get through this quick, so that way I'll just send you guys, whoever's in here to breakfast to stream, because he's doing the Xfinity race. And I have debated about whether waiting to do this before the Cup race tomorrow night. I'm not gonna copy. I may look at yours, Hamill, after I'm done, but so here's our grid, or here's our drivers that are in the playoffs for this year, and I'm gonna do this simply, just knock out 4 at a time until we get our who I think the championship 4 is gonna be, and then this box all the way up and have this. We'll retitle this as this. So I haven't looked at anybody else's ones either. The ones that are in I've seen people posted them in my NASCAR thread on Discord. I haven't looked at anybody's grids. I may wait till after I do this. The whole reasoning behind that is I wanted to not taint how I do mine, and just this way you get my straight opinion on it. Now we're going to start, obviously, with where I think the first 4 out are going to be. And this, I think, is rather somewhat simple, yet okay. The first one that I see obvious, I hate to do this. I almost hate to do this because I think if this guy could make it through the first round, I think he's capable of making it further than just the first round. But logically, I'm sorry, SVG. I have to put you as one of the first in the bottom of this. I don't think he's going to be the first. I don't think he's going to be the bottom rung of the 16. But I just don't think they have quite the consistency on the ovals to be able to make it out of this first round. Don't get me wrong. You could very easily point your way through to that next round. It's just, and if he makes it to the round of 12, which has the Roval in it, not counting him out, possibly making the round of 8. But he's got to get through this first round first. And I just don't think they're good enough to make it through this first round. Not against the competition they're going against. So that's my first one. The next one I'm going to put in here, and it's more due to their recent runs, Because this guy, although he won this year, he's kind of been nowhere since. And it's kind of disappointing because the way they started the year, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be easily a contender. But they've honestly been nowhere since, and I got to put the 21 here. I got to put Barry here. I mean, it's nothing against Barry. It's nothing against that team. They've shown flashes, but they just haven't been where they were, I thought, at the start of the year. At the start of the year, I thought they were a lot better than what they were or where they are now. And I think they're kind of limping their way into these playoffs. And I really don't think they're capable of getting through this first. They very easily could win one of the races in the round, but where their momentum is right now, I don't see them making it through this first round. That could change. It's just I gotta put Dylan here. I just, if Richmond was in this first round, they would probably make it out of the first round. But I just don't see them running good enough against their competition to make up the points to make it to the next round. Barring, somebody having an issue, I don't see them making it out of this first round. And that's what I think. The grid is so tight that it's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes once we get into the playoffs here. And that's the thing. It's so tight. How do you make up points? And that's why that's kind of my reasoning behind my choices right now. Is it's so tight, running 14th, 15th is not going to get you to the next round if the guys you're trying to gain points on are running top 5 and top 10. The only way you're making it through a round, guaranteed way into the round, is winning. You can't run top 15, even top 10, I think, and be able to make up points if the people you're trying to race are running top 5, top 10. And then the last one I'm going to put on this list, and I know Port's going to hate me for doing this, and I know Jacob's going to hate me, and probably Bubble's going to hate me for doing this. You got to have the consistency. You got to clean up the mistakes. And I think the 48 is the weak link at Hendrick right now in terms of the 4 Hendrick cars. I mean, they barely squeaked their way in last Saturday night, or last week. And that was partly due to the fact that we didn't have a different winner. Granted, kind of out of their control, you get caught up in somebody else's mess, but you got to clean up the little things once you're in the playoffs. I mean, you look at last year, they could have made the round. They were going to make the round of 8. They got DQ'd at the Roval. So you got to clean up the little things if you're going to make it to the next round. Now's where it gets tougher. Because the round of 12, for the first time, we got New Hampshire late in the playoffs, as opposed to it being earlier. Kansas is in this round, and so is Charlotte. The Roval. So, God, the next 4 is rough. I think I'm going to put Cindric here. Again, and I think it's I put Cindric here for the same reason I put Barry in here. They can have flashes. Where they have a couple of good runs in a row or win a race. But when it gets down to crunch time in the playoffs and you have to consistently run top 5, top 10 to get the points to point your way through. Because remember, there's only 3 wins available. So when you're in these early rounds, it falls back to points. And I don't think I see Cindric pulling out of that round. I could see him making it through the first round, but not through the round of 12. Vice versa, I think I'm going to put his teammate here too. Put Joey here too. Because, same thing. They can have flashes. This year, more than any other year that we've run this format, there's not a lot of people that have been consistent from the very start of the season. You know, it's like they had flashes, and it could come down to just whoever has the best flash at the right time at the end of the season. And well, I'll get there, Hamill, because honestly, I don't think he's going to make it to the championship for myself. In fact, I'm half tempted to put all 3 Penske's right here. I'm trying to have more confidence in my guy, obviously, but if I'm being realistic here, I could realistically put all 3 Penske's here. I almost hate to do it to Ryan, but I might just do that. Now, he is a former winner of the Roval, but all 3 Penske's have kind of suffered. Although Ryan, I think, has been the most consistent of the 3. They're kind of all suffering from the same thing, and that is they're not really heavily consistent. You know, they're not showing flashes where where you can look at them and say, oh, they're definitely title contenders. And I say that more so because, yes, Ryan finished second in the regular season title to Byron. I doubt them. Now, that's not to say they can't go and do, hey, look at last Sunday, or look at last Saturday night. I doubted whether they were going to be a factor to win the race. And here they went out and won it. They proved me wrong in 23. I didn't think they were going to be a serious contender in 23. They went on to win the title. So, I'm just going off of logic and what I've seen this season. I don't think they can make it through the round of 12. The last one I'm going to pull out of this round is Tyler Reddick. Yes, they were the regular season title winner last year. Yes, they were a player last year. I just don't see that in them this year. Yes, Kansas is in this round, which we know how well the 23XI seems to run at Kansas. I don't see them making out of this round. God, that's the other thing. I almost want to put Bubba here too, but I know you can only knock out 4. So, I'll just put Bubba as the next one out for round of 8, because really, I think all 5 of these guys have been very similar this year. That's why I think it's hard to pick between those 5 as far as between those 5 because of. You have to let me know what thread, Hamill. It's hard to separate those 5, so it's hard for me to decide. That's why they're all close to where I think they're all going to be out either similar round or close to the similar round. Next one out for the round of 8. You can see the round of 8 is, let me check the rounds. Vegas, Dega, and Martinsville. I think I could put Chastain out here. Oops, sorry. Put Chastain out here. Put Chase here. And I'll go Briscoe. Although, honestly, these two, the 1 and the 19, really more so the 1 than the 19, has been very, very quiet. Has been very, very quiet. They've not been great, but they've been quiet. And I've said this the last couple of years that I've done these predictions. Watch out for the teams that quietly enter the playoffs. Because those are the ones you have to watch that can sneak up on you. Now, Chastain, I think, could be quiet. I think he could be a quiet guy that could... I mean, you look at 2022. Until suddenly, hello, Hail Melon. One move from you can win. On the flip side of that, although almost in the same boat, I think it's Chase Briscoe. I think the 19 team is starting to peak at the right. They're starting to show the flashes of why they wanted Briscoe to go there. And I honestly think that the 19 team could be a threat to go even further than where I've got them. But by the same token, I just don't see them being able to keep up that consistency through these final 10. Same thing with the 9. The 9, I think, the 9 has definitely shown flashes of being consistent. I think them and Byron have been two of the more consistent drivers this season. But at the same token, decisions like... What race? There was the one race they were leading, and the decision pit strategy late basically took them completely out of winning the race. And that's... You can't do that once you get into the playoffs because, again, the win is a guaranteed advancement. If you have to fall back to points and something goes wrong, well, you're screwed. So this would be my championship 4 as it stands. Larson, Hamlin, Bell, and Byron. These two, for obvious reasons, multiple championship 4 appearances, and can easily get here. Bell has made the last 2 championship 4s, and obviously he's been a contender, so it's hard not to overlook the 20 in the run here. And obviously Byron, to me, has been the most consistent driver this season. By far, obviously regular season champ. The tough call, though, is these 4, out of these 4. Now, that's what worries me a little bit, John. But the 5 team also reminds me of Jimmy Johnson's 48 team, where they could go on a little summer slump, but once the playoffs come, here they are. That's why I'm not overlooking them, because I know what they're capable of doing, much like you never overlooked Jimmy Johnson. Even when he had a summer slump, you never overlooked him when it came to the playoffs. I'm seeing a lot of the characteristics of that old 48 team with that 5 team, which is ironic because essentially that's what the 5 team is. It's Jimmy Johnson's old 48 team. So, now of these 4, I think there's a clear-cut winner of these 4. He's been the most consistent driver this year. Granted, he doesn't have the wins. He only has 2 wins this season as opposed to, 2 of these guys on the list that have more wins. But I think when you put them against the wall, plus they had the experience of being in the Final 4 before, I think this is the year William Byron wins it. I think he's been top to bottom. I think the 24 team has been the best team this year. And I think it takes that mix. It takes that mix of consistency and being able to win races that's going to get you to the next round. It's going to get you to to the big dance at the end of the season. And I think that's what's going to allow them to make it. I think that's what's going to get them over the hump. So, in my opinion, I think Byron wins it all. I think this is the year. It'd be the first year since 2001 that the 2014 would win the championship. So, I think this is his year. And I think out of all 16 guys, I think he's, again, they've been the best team this year, I think. And, you know, the opener, we're starting at the track. They dominated back at the spring. And, you know, they absolutely dominated back at the spring. And, yeah, so that's my grid. I'll post it to my Discord for those that don't see it. I'll post it over there so that way it is firmly over there. But the stream will be, I'll save it. The stream will be here, and then I'll probably put it on my YouTube channel when I put the race stream up. But also, I'm caught up on all my race streams on YouTube now. They're all on YouTube. They're all on my race reaction playlist on YouTube. So everything there. So that's my grid prediction. I said it wasn't going to be long here. I think I've only gone 20 minutes. But I'm going to finish eating. So I finish eating. If you guys want to, I'll just throw you to breakfast, because I know he's doing the Xfinity race. So I'll throw you guys over there, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for the Southern 500. I know it's not a lot of people, but hey, we'll go raid him, and then I'll hop out of here. So we'll see you guys. See you guys tomorrow night.